Greetings, gamers, Agent SN, and yeah, I know this video's late, I know we're past Halloween, but I do not care, the video's finally out. But anyway, last year I made a video about the darkest things in Nintendo games. Well, you know what? It's time to explain that but for JRPGs, but I gotta think of enough of, like, specific details, so I decided to talk about the darkest JRPGs as a whole. So yeah, so here's a little under 10 games, I think. I think are, like, the darkest JRPGs in existence. So, now, not all these are games that I have played. There's actually many games on this list that I haven't played, so I always had to research about them. But anyway, here we go. My knowledge may be limited to these games, so I had to do a bit of research, but since some of them are games I haven't played, but here we go. 3, 2, 1. So starting off, we have the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, or I guess Megami Tensei franchise, that's what the general term is used for them. Yeah, this is a massive franchise. This is just a massive franchise of games, so I didn't really need to choose one, because all of these are very obvious, because these games are about you hunting down and also recruiting demons that are based off of religion, and they're all about demon stuff. So of course it sounds pretty dark, am I right? Yeah, these games involve you catching demon creatures and hunting down some too. And these games follow a very dark tone to them. And these games are set in a post-apocalyptic version of Tokyo, or sometimes another Japanese city, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure mostly Tokyo. So yeah. Now, I've played Nocturne and Shin Megami Tensei 5, and both are really amazing, and yeah. And both games, I'd say overall, they do carry the dark tone to them, especially with Nocturne. Nocturne is like one of the darkest, if not the darkest JRPG I've ever played, and it even looks that way visually too, with the conception and everything. So yeah. But overall, from the two I've played, they are pretty good. I'm planning to play Shin Megami Tensei 4, and as well as Apocalypse next. So here we have Persona 3. Now, Persona is actually a spin-off series of Shin Megami Tensei, but I wanted to include it in its own spot on this list because Persona 3 is a special case. This game is also super dark, and here's the thing: the Persona games usually have a kind of lighter tone than the main Shin Megami Tensei games. I mean, here's the thing: I don't know about Persona 1 and 2 because they're very different. I haven't played them, nor have I seen much of YouTube playthroughs of them. But the trilogy that everyone knows is all very different in tone. You see, Persona 3 is very dark, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Persona 4 is very light. Despite it being about a murder in a small town in Japan, Persona 4 involves a very happy and light tone, despite the murder stuff. And Persona 5 is the best of both the worlds, combining the lightness of Persona 4 and the darkness of Persona 3. But anyway, so what is it about Persona 3 that is super dark? Well, so in this game, you are a student at Gekkokan High School, but at nighttime, you explore this secret hour in the day known as the Dark Hour, and you go through this big tower. I forgot the name of it. I think it's like Taurus or something. Yeah, is it Taurus, I think that's what it's called? Yeah. I have yet to play this game, but I'm going to play the remaster when it comes out in January. But yeah. Now, what's also special with this game is that how you summon your persona is very interesting. So Persona 5, you take off the mask, and that. And Persona 4, they summon a persona like a normal 7, summon. But in this game, how you summon your persona is the characters point fake guns at their heads. Yeah. Yeah. Shooting fake guns at your head to summon them is very interesting, to say the least. And a lot of this game's plot also deals with death and sadness and stuff, because the main character is an orphan whose parents died 10 years ago in the game's timeline. And Tartarus, I remember the name now. And Tartarus is also very dark and everything too. We explored in Dark Hour. Yeah, it's called Tartarus. I remember now. And Tartarus is an alternate reality of Gekko-Khan, basically. So yeah, this game involves some very dark themes, but everybody say this game has the best story of the trilogy, and because of that, I could actually see this game being even better than Persona 5 when I play. And Persona 5 was already my favorite game of all time, and it still is. But we'll see how it goes when I play through this in January. I'm even going to do 2 routes as well. I'm going to do 2 playthroughs because I'm going to do both with the male route and the female route. So yeah. So everything they're going to see in this list is either one-off games, whether they're on a modern console or a past console that stand on their own, don't have any kind of continuation or anything, or they're series that either still going today or still had an entry past their original console. However, this series of games both started and ended on the PS2, and the developer of them shut down years ago, and that is Shadow Hearts. Now I'm actually talking about. There's actually 3 games. There's Shadow Hearts, Shadow Hearts Covenant, and Shadow Hearts from the New World. But I'm not going to talk about From the New World here. That doesn't count for this list, because Shadow Hearts from the New World, it doesn't have the horror like tone that the first 2 games do. But anyway, so Shadow Hearts. Now, these games are set in a dark and haunted reality of ancient Europe, and these games have some horror elements to them, and many dark themes to that. I haven't played them myself, but I have researched them, obviously. And these games have a special battle system with the Judgment Ring, which is what it's called. And I guess the name says it all too. I mean, it's Shadow Hearts. The name is just kind of self-explanatory because it's shadow. It's gonna be dark and everything. So yeah, I don't know what else to say though. But yeah. Alright, so this next game is actually a spin-off of a trilogy of games known as Drakengard, which the first 2 of which were on the PS2 and the third game on the PS3, and we haven't seen a new game since. But the creator of those games, Yoko Taro, has made 2 spin-offs since. The first of which is Nier. And when this game came out in Japan, it was actually split into 2 versions. There was Nier Replicant on the PS3, and that game involved a younger protagonist who was trying to find a cure for his sister. And Nier Replicant was released in Japan only originally on the PS3. And then there was Nier Gestalt, which was about an older protagonist who was trying to find a cure for his daughter, and Nier Gestalt released exclusively on Xbox 360 in Japan. When the game was originally localized, we only got that version, but on 360 and PS3, and that left Replicant behind. But that was until Brother Nier was able to come to the West in 2021. So yeah, we got remaster, remake, forgot what it is, of Replicant finally. And overall, this is actually a pretty dark game. I haven't played it myself, but but like I said, this game's about a character who's trying to save either his sister or daughter from a curse that she's infected with. And if you're throughout this game, there'll actually be blood splatters everywhere too as well. Well, that's not really dark, but anyway. But you also see some we also see so many dark secrets hidden within, and this game involves a very mature and deep plot, and it also feels and everything. There's a lot of JRPGs out there that involve teenagers or something, but and what Replicant does, it does it too in a very gritty and a bit gruesome way as well. So yeah, and you may find some many things that may feel very dark throughout them. So yeah. So, Undertale. Now, Undertale is a game in this list that all of you probably know. And when I said that I haven't played most of these games, this is one of the only things on the list that I have played. This as well as Megami Tensei are the only ones I've played so far. But what makes Undertale dark specifically? And here's the thing. Undertale is both a lighthearted game and a very dark game as well. Because the game is actually a choose-your-own path kind of game. And this game is split into 3 different routes. You can either go genocidal, pacifist, or neutral. And your decisions are based on how many enemies you decide to kill. You can either spare every enemy, or you can kill all of them, or have a good balance. Your decisions will decide where you go, and the game will be very different after that. That's what makes this game dark, is that even though it's very lighthearted, and the dialogue's also amazing, the dark aspect of this game and tone of it is where you make your decisions of how many enemies, if you want to kill every enemy or spare them all, or a mix of both. What it's how you put yourself in a Frisk's shoes, that your path will take you. But no matter which of the 3 you play through, this is overall an amazing game that I love a lot. It's my favorite indie RPG. Also, by the way, I know this game is made in the US, so I think it doesn't count and that's not a JRPG, but I don't care because the game plays like a JRPG, so it counts. I don't care if it's not made if it's not made in Japan. It plays like a JRPG, so it counts for this list. Folklore. So Folklore is a game on the PlayStation 3. It's an action RPG for the PS3. It was an early PS3 game. I think it was like 2008, I think. But yeah, overall, the cover you just saw might give everything away with how dark this game is. This game involves. This game is very realistic and everything. Most JRPGs that you probably know involve a very anime aesthetic. There are some exceptions like the Mario RPGs, but this game is realistic, and the visuals are very inspired by a lot of Tim Burton movies. Now I'm playing this game myself, but I have seen playthroughs of it and everything, and I would like to play it at some point. It seems pretty good, but yeah, this game involves very realistic and dark aesthetic. The based around folklore, but also in a very gothic feel. This game has a very gothic aesthetic to it, so yeah. Which makes it perfect for this list, definitely. the PlayStation was the beginning of survival horror, or at least when it was like most popular. That was the age of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and a few others. But Square Enix had an interesting, actually Squaresoft, because it was before they merged with Enix. But Squaresoft had a very interesting idea of what if they combined survival horror with action RPG. So with that, their very first M-rated game, Parasite Eve, was born. Yes. But Parasite Eve, I haven't played it myself, but it looks like an interesting game. Once again, the game is a mix of survival horror and action RPG. And involves a very dark tone as well. So yeah. I haven't played the game myself, but I don't know what else to say, but overall, this game looks interesting for what I've seen from playthroughs. I'll have to play through it at some point. So yeah. Code Vein is an interesting game, from what I've seen. Once again, I haven't played this one, but I really want to play it at some point. And this game is basically if Dark Souls was an anime. Is what this game basically is. The Dark Souls games involve a very dark fantasy universe. And same for other From Software games and stuff. Bandai Namco, who is also the publisher of Dark Souls games and Elden Ring, decided to make a game similar to it, with a lot of the same staff as the Tales series, and the same staff also continued to make. They also made Scarlet Nexus later on, but yeah. Like this game, Dark is not only it's aesthetic, but and its Dark Souls influence, but this game is about vampires, and has many gothic themes to it as well. And even the visuals seem very have a dark aesthetic to it, also keeping the keeping the anime stuff with it. As once again, this is basically if Dark Souls was an anime, and it plays a lot like 1 too. And except it has more of a story focus too, and the game involves vampires, and it's a very vampire themed game. Even the creatures look very dark looking as well. I haven't played this game myself, but I really want to play it at some point, and it looks amazing. So, Bloodborne. Now, here's the thing. Now what I said about Undertale was that despite the game being made in the U.S., it plays like a JRPG, so it counted for the list. But for Bloodborne, I'm including it separately because here's the thing. This game is made in Japan, but it plays like a Western RPG. So I'm excluding from the list and just making it honorable mention. Anyway, I think Bloodborne is pretty self-explanatory because now I never played this game, but this game is very bloody and very gory, and this game is set in a haunted and gothic version of Victorian England, and the aesthetic especially is very dark and everything, with you playing as a hunter in the Victorian area, in the Victorian era London. So yeah, and everywhere you go, there'll be blood everywhere. A lot of people praise this game and call either this or Elden Ring the best From Software game. I haven't played any of them myself. But even the aesthetic looks super haunted and dark and everything. But if this video, see you guys next time. Agent S out.